Hi everyone, the time has come to go ahead and wrap up this saga of baby bulk / bulk buying 6 Gaylords of books and then sorting through them and attempting to sell them all primarily on Whatnot. So if you are brand new here and this is your first video you've watched in this series, please go back and watch the rest of the videos first. There are 3 videos before this one that you should watch before you watch this one because you're going to be a little lost in the sauce. You're not going to exactly understand what's going on. So I'll go ahead and link the playlist here if you want to click on that and just go through in the order. It should be part 1, part 2, and part 3 labeled in the description. So it's not in the title, it is in the description. I just don't want you to get lost out of order. For those of you that have already watched those, or if you are coming back from watching those videos, let's go ahead and talk about where we're at in this video real quick and then jump into the footage. So what I've basically been doing is filming for the last 3 to 4 weeks the last couple of shows I did offloading all of these books. And where we left off in part 3 was that we had just taken photos and basically prepped to do a Thursday show, and we're doing it. Now, I believe there was a little bit of footage that was lost or just not properly transferred when I was making this video, and I was unable to locate it. So there are going to be a couple of holes in the video, just a few times that like it just kind of jumps to the next day or whatever it is. This is a lot of me just Mod Podging clips together to try to share with you all the back end journey of this. But keep in mind that over the last month, I have also been venturing onto other things and doing other types of stuff within my business. And the bulk buy is not as much of a priority more because I've made my money back and then some, and I will share that at the end of the video. We'll go through the spreadsheet, the profits, and all of that stuff. And more importantly, would I do this again? Because that is the $1 million question, and I've got some things to say about it. So we'll talk about that later, but that's where we left off. We're going to jump into me finishing off cleaning out that back room where we had all of those books piled up on the wall for me to scan for the buyback services, sell back your book, books run, as well as what I was going to be putting into the Whatnot show and what I was going to be putting to the side directly to do just an in-person book sale. So that's where we're going to jump into, and I'm going to pop in here in the middle to just kind of keep the video flowing and keep it all making sense. But hopefully you guys enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and let's jump into it. As I continue to prep for shows, this is what we are working with. Again, a good chunk of it over there is gone. So we just kind of have this little stack of chapters, and I'm just kind of sorting things like for the show. I still have all of the pending buyback stuff over there piled up. And then this is stuff that I probably will go ahead and just put straight into that yard sale. And then this is my small discard pile. This is just the little bit that I just think there is no value in even touching anymore, and I want to go ahead and completely donate. So that's essentially the deal. I'm working my way through it, scanning stuff as I can. It is so exciting to see just this many books left to scan. That is wild. I'm just having the time of my life getting through these last couple stacks, knowing that they are going to be all scanned and at least processed and put into the right piles of where they need to go. And just like that, all of the books that needed to be scanned have been scanned. The wall is empty. Everything has been processed. I've got, again, more piles here, books to go to Whatnot. All of these books back here for the yard sale, and a good little selection of books over here that I just think need to be redonated / recycled. And then textbook things over there. I wanted to go ahead and do a couple of honorable mentions here. These ones were worth just a few more than just pennies. So I'll show you kind of some of those real quick. All right, so let's go ahead and look at these books we have here. First up, we have Financial Intelligence for Entrepreneurs, What You Really Need to Know. And it looks like Books Run, taking us off the top at $5.47. This one. This is some sort of Turkish letters, but Books Run, $1.57. This is Madness and Civilization, A History of Insa, $1.15. We've got $1.20. I only have a couple of books for Books to Cash. That one at the top there, Books to Cash. But this one will go in the Books to Cash pile for $1.20. I think this is only like the 4th or 5th book that actually will go into the Books to Cash stack. So not as often selling to that one, but still adds up. This Red Rising, I think it was like $3 if I can get it. Now it's only popping up at $1.44. I swear just a minute ago it said $3. Okay, well, I'll take it. $1.44, not too bad. And last but not least, we have this Death from Child Abuse and No One Heard. Super sad. But $3. Oh, this was the $3 one. Okay, I knew there was a $3 book in there. So $3 on this little kind of small, thin book. So that is everything officially scanned. It feels so nice to be able to walk over here again and still have all of these books, but in a very much more organized manner and knowing exactly where they all need to go. So the next step is going to be actually processing the sellback books and getting that order done. So I actually did an entire video on the buyback services that I use, as well as how I go about doing the entire process. And in that, I actually covered all of those piles of books that I had to the side. So I showed myself scanning them, getting the final totals, and boxing them up and getting them shipped out. So that is why there's kind of a little bit of a hole here in the buyback portion of the Gaylords. I did a whole separate video on it. I had a lot of questions about it, and I just figured, let me just go ahead and make a video on it while the topic is relevant. And so I went ahead and made a video. I'll go ahead and link it up here. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, go ahead and click on this or save it for later to watch. But that is the video that's going to do a better job at explaining kind of how the whole buyback services went. And I'm going to recap how much I made from those buybacks at the end of the video in the spreadsheet. Again, we're going to talk all numbers at the end of the video. So if you're not interested in all of the process here and you just want to know hard facts, how much did she make, go to the end of the video. But if you're interested in the process and you want to see the work behind it, keep watching, because I'm going to just basically dive into a handful of clips over the next, I think it's 3 weeks total-ish, that you're going to see shows and me just showcasing how I went about finishing off kind of liquidating all of these books on Whatnot. Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, Memorial Day. I'm here in the office getting ready to start packing some of the orders from this weekend. I am about to start packing the Thursday show orders where I did $1 starts, and I didn't blend in any of the more popular books. I just did the kind of more undesirable $1 books that you guys have probably been seeing me sorting through either in this video or one of the last videos. So I did the show. It was great, fun, normal show, $1 starts. However, I'm going to go pack, and I showed you probably at the end the numbers, but I want to show you guys the real time of what it looks like when you are talking about doing $1 start shows. So I'm going to flip the camera around and refresh you guys on what we sold. All right. So again, you can see here, we only did $52 in sales. My estimated payout is literally $20. And this is the point of what I want to talk to you guys about. $10.84 came from my spend on giveaways. And then I sold a total of 58 items. So that $20 is not a pretty number. I have all of these books down here in the bins to go ahead and sort out. It's a total of 13 shipments that I need to sort these books out into, and then I need to pack them up, weigh them, put labels on them, take them to the post office, right? So this is what I want to talk to you guys about when it comes to doing $1 starts or individual auctions. That 30 cents per individual transaction just really, really adds up. So I spent on a total of 58 individual listings, $17.40 right off of the bat, just in that individual transaction cost. So not just the overall 11% fees that are applied to my total sales, but that 30 cents per individual transaction. So I just wanted to go ahead and show you all that. It's not a glamorous side of doing $1 starts and individual auctions all the time. And this is why I do a lot of bundling on my show. So if you are having trouble with individual auctions, or you're not seeing the payouts and you think maybe the fee structure is a little too high, it's probably that individual fee that's getting you, and maybe consider working with bundles or trying to sell higher value items overall, so that 30 cents doesn't really eat into your profits overall. Now, I do want to just go ahead and throw in there that while this is a not so great show and not really going to be worth my time overall from start to finish, I will not consider this book show to be worth my time at all. And if I could go back and not do it, I probably would. I will say I'm also coming off of 2 back-to-back shows on Saturday being some of my highest sales shows, one of which actually beating my sales show record. I actually ended up doing about $1,900 in sales 2 Saturdays ago when we were celebrating Whatnot Con 2025, which is basically just a virtual online conference on the app of Whatnot, where all sellers and buyers are able to come and interact with each other. And I ended up streaming the longest I ever did as well. We did 13 and a half hours. My longest stream previously was 13 hours and 29 minutes. So we went for 13 hours and I think about 31 minutes or 32 minutes. And I did about $1,900 in sales, which for the time wasn't like a fantastic pull, but again, for the business model that I have with books at good quality prices, that's just kind of what I was able to pull in. So that was a great show. And then this past weekend, this past Saturday, my sales were about 1,200, which is another great show. Anything over $1,000 on a Saturday is an awesome night for me. So, not a great show here that we have to pack up, but there is always that silver lining of if you can put together a really good like show where my Saturday shows are like fine-tuned, right? I've been working on these for about 3 years and I've made it a really good, successful format. And so I'm able to make majority of my money off of just one show a week and then use a few other shows throughout the week to kind of help make a little bit more money. But having that one kind of set, tried and true method that you're using and knowing what works and then just doing that over and over and over again is going to be the best method on Whatnot. And then you can sprinkle in some of these shows that may not be as successful, but you're liquidating your inventory and still getting a little bit of your money back. And just another thing to keep in mind when you are doing these smaller shows that maybe aren't bringing in as much money, sometimes it's not always going to be about how much money you made in a single show, but maybe the net you garnered into a new audience. Maybe new buyers found you. Maybe people that are just looking for a deal and $1 book sounds amazing to them and they do want to come in and maybe buy a few $1 books and get a good deal, and they've never seen you before, or maybe they've never clicked on your show because typically the types of shows you do don't appeal to them, but this one did. So now you have new buyers, new followers, people who have now been exposed to you, and maybe they'll want to come into one of those shows where you're able to maximize your profits and they'll make a purchase then as well because now they like you as a seller or they like the products you're selling. Maybe they had a great experience with their shipment, they like the way you packed their order or the customer service they received. Whatever it might be, you're given a lot of opportunities to get new buyers into your show, and sometimes smaller, not so profitable shows, raid trains, things like that are going to be really good ways to broaden your audience. All right, let's go ahead and get these orders packed up and we can move on to something that's going to bring a little bit more money back into this business. This is actually the whole, like the 1 through 10, I believe. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.5. So 1 through 8.5 of Keeper in the Lost Cities in very damaged condition. Not in great shape at all, but I think still a really cool find. Like the consecutiveness of them, that'll sell. Be good. So, all right, cool. That's everything on the shelf. So let's take a look at what we're actually working with here. You have everything that is going to be on these shelves down here with the exception of this up here. These are still like leftover books from something else. So this whole shelf from top down to the bottom, and there is more stuff back here behind the bags. And then this second shelf down all the way through to the bottom is all stuff from the Gaylords that still needs to be shown. A little bit more higher quality inventory. Not as like less popular as the $1 starts, like popular books, Midnight Library, Lilac Girls. We've got manga, we've got Usborne, thrillers, religious. There's all kinds of stuff. Speaking of religious, all of this too. So this is all of the religious stuff I still have to go through. We've got some beautiful like Bible, like look at this. The Gaither. This is gorgeous. There's more stuff in here. So lots of religious to still go through. And then, ooh. All right, and let's go take a look what it's looking like back here now. So I'm about to start working on that World of Books. We've got the eBay stuff over here. Vinyls, books that I think would sell at a yard sale really well. And then books that I don't think would sell as well. So a lot of this stuff I'm going to put out because if I'm going to have a book sale, I might as well. But I have a revelation. I'm going to tell you guys my revelation here. Last time we were standing here and it was empty, we were about to load up these walls with books, and now they're all gone again, which is wonderful. So these banker boxes. These banker boxes you see here kind of in this corner go one more row back. And then these ones you see here, which you cannot even barely see the tip of the iceberg with these ones, are full of books that I got from a free book pickup. And they are mostly books that I'm not going to be able to sell, but there are a ton of valuable books in there. I just have to go through and comp all of them, which means it would be really good to have a media sale that included the books that I don't want to sell or don't find value in that sale from here. So what I'm likely going to do is put all the books that are, are not so desirable books that I think just need to be redonated, and kind of put them neatly, maybe in some boxes or to the side somehow, and mark them as what they are. And when I can start going through this crazy load of donations, I could start actually prepping to have a real media sale. And maybe since I have so much, I can do like a 2-day media sale or 2 weekends in a row or something like that. So we'll see, but that is what we're looking at. Hey everyone, it is day something of this process of organizing this haul, and I am about to work on prepping another Thursday show. And this Thursday show is going to be a little bit different than the way I've been doing them so far, offloading all of these books that I've purchased. I'm actually today, instead of doing $1 starts, going to set the show up in increments of 1 to 4 and maybe even some $5 start books. I'll have them stacked up and pictured, so I need to start organizing these shelves back here. I'm just going to kind of try to show you as much of the process as possible while also being efficient, as I only have about 2 hours to get this done. I'm optimistic that we're going to do well tonight, but I will say I have a show scheduled for tomorrow that is my rewards club show. At the end of every reward season on Whatnot, I do reward my members who have hit gold, platinum, and diamond tier with a special show where just they are able to show up and purchase any of the books that I have. So there's no competition. It's a much smoother show because they know how everything runs, so I don't have to waste time explaining things, and it's just a really fun experience. And so that's tomorrow, and then Saturday is just a Saturday show. And the last 2 Saturdays I've had these really amazing shows, so I'm hopeful that people will still come out and grab some of these books, but I'm also expecting, maybe to just make $200 or $300. So we'll see. I'll of course take you through the process and check in with you guys at the end. All right, so we are looking at, I think I showed you guys this already, this whole shelf here, and then this shelf minus the top, right? So the bottom, it looks like 2.5. I guess both of these 2 shelves are non-chapter books. This one is mostly non-chapter here, and then there's a couple of non-chapter in that. So we're really just looking at kind of like not even the board books, just chapter. It's going to be all chapter. When you do shows where you have just one style of book, it does make the shipping a lot easier. So that is why I've been dividing it up, because the goal isn't to just maximize the money and obviously break even and make a good profit, but it's to make this a system, something that makes sense. And it's a lot easier to ship for myself. With that said, this is what we're working with. I'm really excited about this show, actually. So, all right, let's go ahead and start organizing. I need to basically start pulling out piles of books and putting them into $1 stacks, $2, $3, $4, and then anything maybe over $4 I'll put in a separate pile and price those individually. Maybe I'll make individual listings. Who knows? We shall see. All right, let's go ahead and start organizing. So I started pulling books off of the shelf and just organizing them, like I said, into these $1, $2, $3, $4 stacks, and then a small stack of books that I think I could price over $5. There was actually a couple of signed books in here, and as I'm flipping through these books, I was quickly reminded like where all the money was in this Gaylord. It was on these shelves. These are some of the best books. These are books I would have in my normal show. This was really, really exciting to flip through. And now I've got these 2 shelves done so far. This is what I have pulled out so far. We have some good $1 books here. Lots of kids and just random stuff. $2 books. Some more $2 books. And again, I'm pricing these based on just my experience, just having sold these types of books in the past. I know what I can typically get for these books. And then these are going to be more like my $4 books, and I'll just flip these around because I want you guys to see, like, these are going to be the ones I price up. So these are the highest. So we've got hardcover Game of Thrones,
This is a signed spicy book, book 1 in the series. We have some more spice down here. This is also signed, some more spice, a Robert Frost collection, and then this is like thriller, gothic fantasy. This is like a series thing. So those were some of the $5, and then for $4, same thing. You're getting some good romance, nice thrillers, just good quality stuff there. So I'm really excited for this show. This is giving me a lot of hope that we're gonna actually make some money on this Gaylord. Oh my gosh. All right, so I still have these to go through. I'm gonna kind of keep going through. I don't know if I'm gonna pull everything because that's gonna be a pretty big show. That's already a lot of books. But I'll at least pull one more like row of shelves here and see where that brings us to. I am basically just sorting, obviously, through what sells well, what I know I can get more money for, and what I can't get as much for. But also I'm just like opening up the books. I'm looking at the synopsises. I'm looking at the condition. Some of these books were good books, but they had little water damage or good little rips. So they went into the $1 and $2 stacks. Got $5 books up here, $5 here, $4 moved to here, mass markets, and $3 books. These are books I need to like look up or organize better. These were all like vintage Frank Yerby. Anyone know who Frank Yerby is? I've got a few of those. I'm going to look them up. And then also Patricia Matthews. I'm going to look those up. Then $2 books and $1 books, which I feel like is a lot of books for us to do a show. I feel like this is definitely an appropriate amount, but I don't think I can just leave the other 3 stacks. Like I think we should just do all the chapter books and then put them all back up on the shelves and have them available for purchase. But I also know those stacks were the rows were double stacked. Like these ones, see how there's like books in the front and books in the back. So I don't want to be like making it more hard on myself to pull all the books. So maybe I should take some and put them like down here. I don't know. I'm going to think on that one. I decided I am going to use all of the books. I did go ahead and clear this shelf off. These were books that needed to go next door to my actual like storefront because those are books I want to sell within a normal show. So I moved those. I still have all this up here, but we're not worried about that right now. It's just there. We're worried about this. So let's go ahead and empty these last 3 shelves here. I'm going to go ahead and do it quickly off of camera, show you guys what it looks like when it's done. And then I'm going to go ahead and start putting all of the stacks basically back on the shelf in a more organized manner and take photos of them and put them in my store. And of course, we'll share all that with you. So hang tight. Ta-da! So we have the shelves empty with the exception of this one because this is all like very specific books that just like these 3 stacks go together, then that's a whole series, right? So we have these 2 down here still with non-chapter books that we'll do another show for, but I'm going to go ahead and fill up these shelves with all of the books I have pulled to the side. So these are going to be all of our $1 books, $2 books, $3 books down here. This stack and this stack are $4 books, and then this stack and this stack are $5 and up, which I am stoked that there's so many even in that stack. So I'll be basically organizing them into some of the genres and stuff as well, sizes, things like that, just so that they fit really well into the shelves. There's some series things down here, like kids book series and stuff. So I want to put similar books next to each other, but yeah, I'll go ahead and stack them in here. I'll take some photos and upload those into my store. All right, just taking y'all into what it looks like when I am setting up a show. If you click on my show notes, there's nothing in there. You go over here to the store. I don't have anything anywhere. Don't even have any giveaways put in. So I want to go ahead and load the store up. But let me just show you all how I would go about doing it if I've already had a show. I would actually go to my Chrome here. I would actually go into a browser in my device, Chrome. And I'm going to click on shows. Then I'm going to go up here. I'm going to toggle over here to where it says past shows, and you'll see right here I have $1 starts, fiction, quick auctions. This was last Thursday's show. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is click this button that says clone items. It's going to pull up everything that was left in my show, and I just want to select this next upcoming show, which is tonight, and then I'm going to click select all, and it's going to clone over all of these options here. So this is everything I had. So let's go ahead and click clone. Okay. And it's going to actually take us to the app. And now you can see I've got preview photos. I'm actually going to go ahead and edit this. I'm going to close all these photos out because those are old. And I'm just going to kind of drop my phone down here to get a black screen and then add that as my preview photo for right now, just until I can get it started. All right, so then I have these things pictured I'm going to add to it, and these are some of the auctions I'm going to have, obviously, by weight. So I'm actually going to go ahead and add, I don't have anything to buy it now. I'll add some giveaways here shortly. Let's go ahead and add some show notes. Let's see if we can clone our show notes, if they made that a thing again, because for a while when it was changed, you weren't able to access your past show. So let's see if it'll let me. If I go to open show, if it'll pull it up. Ooh. All right. Sometimes they make changes and it's all bueno. So we want, it's actually not this show though. Hang on. It's this show, open show. And then now what I can do, instead of having to retype the show notes, I can click over here where it says show notes, and I can select all, copy, go over to my show notes, click, paste. So then I'll go in and I'll actually do like the giveaways and stuff here in a bit, but I just wanted to show you guys that very basic process. And then for example, I'll show you me listing, like how I got one of these. Let me show you that from start to finish just real quick. So we're going to go create. That's what we're always clicking. +, create listing. And we're going to add the photos first and foremost. And I want to list these like random things right here. So I am going to do this. It's not very good lighting. I should probably go grab my light now that I think about it. So I'll probably do that. But I'm going to put boom. And then we'll say, trying to get a good photo here. Boom. And bang. That's decent. We're going to put it under books, and I'm going to title this, what is this genre? Like historical fiction. Let's just say fiction and romance stuff. All books pictured are 2 for $1. Must get even quantities. Make requests. So now I've got that. And then auction, starting bid $1. Shipping profile doesn't really matter. You're not going to be running this, so I always just put it low. In fact, since these are going to be, we'll do 1 to 2 pounds, just because I know if they get 2, it's probably going to be about 2 pounds. Not that it matters. Not 2 pounds, 1 pound. Okay, so now you can see that. Boom. And it's there. And the reason why I put the 1, if you haven't noticed, is because I like for things to show up at the top so that everyone can see it. And then my auctions that are for me to run are down at the bottom. No one needs to see all this. They want to see these things up here. So basically that's the same process that I am about to do with all of the rest of the books. And I'll go ahead and show you guys that once it's all set up. Whew. All right. This is post show. Now I did fail you guys, and I did not actually come in and update with the shelves all put together when all the books were up here. So I will try my best to go ahead and insert a photo here of kind of what it looked like. I had it organized by price, and this is what we're left with. So you're seeing these 4 shelves here, 8 total, but the 4 shelves, and this is everything that's left over. I've got 2 pretty hefty stacks of kids books over here, but other than that, just a decent little variety of not as desirable adult books, I guess. We've got some, popular authors and some good things mixed in there, but this is what was left over. So I'm really, really happy with that. If you saw the before picture, that's what we're looking at. Now here's the orders. We've got our 4 to 7 ounce books here, our 8 to 11 ounce books here, our 1 to 2 pounds books here, as well as the overflow. And then we have 2 to 3 pound books, 3 to 4 pound books, and then all of the books that I went ahead and took some time to individually list. I also have our giveaways up here. These are our buyer giveaways and our raid giveaways. Now let's go ahead and look into the analytics. We did amazing on this show. Such a total world of a difference from doing $1 start books, guys. $625 in sales, only about $16 in givey spend. And after everything's all said and done, we should pocket about $480 after fees. It was a total of 35 different orders. And y'all, doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and up dollar starts made a world of a difference.
I genuinely enjoyed doing the $1 starts. I thought it was fun, but I was selling a lot of books that I could sell for $3, $4, and $5 for $1. And it just was not worth it to me. Didn't make sense. So definitely make sure you guys are keeping that in mind. If you are trying to do $1 starts or thinking about how you want to set up the pricing on your shows, do what works for you. Set the books at the price that you need to set them at. Set the books at the price that you think they're valued at so that you can maximize your income. I am beyond happy with this. I can't wait to punch this into our spreadsheet and see what this brings our total to. We've definitely crossed over into the profit now at this point. So I'm excited to see how much profit we've made between doing the sellback purchases processed and this show. We're looking really, really good. So super exciting. I'll check in with you guys again when I'm on to the next show or next venture of processing all of this stuff. Dropping off, I think this will be our third order at 2nd and Charles. And I've got these 2 bags. I went ahead and pulled them from my car so I didn't have to carry them. They're very heavy. Sounds good. Thank you. Please. Have a great day. Thank you. All right, I got those dropped off and I do what's called an auto credit. So they will just auto credit it to my account. They don't need to call and get confirmation that I want store credit or cash or any of those things. I'll take the store credit, just auto credit it to my account, and then I will call them either later tonight or tomorrow and find out how much they actually paid me and credited to my account. I am hoping with all of those books that I could get like $40, $40 to $50. I'd be happy with that.
2nd Charles, Virginia Beach. How can I help you?
Hi there. I had a buyback order earlier that was processed as an auto credit, and I was just calling to see. It looks like it finished processing. I was just looking to see what the credit was.
Sure. Let me see. Oh, yes. So it looks like it ended up being $32.10 being added to your $225.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No worries. You have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye. Hey everyone. We are back to prep for another auction. I think this is our 6th auction that we're going to be doing, offloading all of these books. I briefly probably checked in at the end of our last auction, but I just wanted to recap it here in case I didn't do a good enough job there. That was a great auction, right? We ended up doing a net sales of like $400 something. I've probably either inserted this clip already or I will be inserting it after this clip if you haven't seen it already, but it was a really good show. We did well over 400 in our like payout, and that actually put us into the positive. So we are officially profitable on this purchase, which is awesome. And now we are going to go ahead and put together another show. This is probably going to be one of our last shows. I think we maybe will have one more after this. And I think that's probably going to be it for like this inventory. Then I have the mass market books. I've got the vinyls, the DVDs, and the religious stuff, which the religious stuff I may squeeze into tonight's auction. I haven't 100% decided, but we're pretty much wrapping up. So we're doing pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and show you how I'm going to start prepping for this 2nd or 3rd to last show. And we'll go ahead and get going. We're about to go live in about like an hour. So I'm looking at my invisible watch if you guys didn't notice that. We're about to go live in about an hour. So it's just going to be a pretty quick setup. It's kind of already laid out here, but let's go ahead and take a peek at what we have. As you know, this is the leftover adult books, or chapter books, I should say, from the show. I am going to re-photograph these with the pricing that they are. I also have the like historical fiction stuff or whatever that is, romance stuff, and I'll have that up there as well. But then other than that, this is what I'm trying to focus on as I prep, is just organizing these stacks down here into like leveled readers, picture books, cookbooks, nonfiction. Like I don't know 100% what's in here, but it's all like non-chapter books. So that's the goal. Get all this basically final organized and photographed, and I will be good to go. Have some piles here that I did. I've got $1 books, $2 books, $3 books, $4 books, and just a couple of books that I want to price at $5 or $6. Then a few other things over here, as well as some stuff that needs some repairs before I can sell them, but I at least got the shelves cleaned out there. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is lay these books out and take pictures of them so that people can make requests. It is all done. That was actually a little bit smoother than I thought it was going to be. I have it basically all split up by price. We've got $4 books, $3 books, $2 books, $1 books, and then same thing down here. We have $4 books, $3 books, $2 books, and then $1 books here. And then this is run over of the $3 books as well. It's looking pretty good. I've got it all set up. I'm going to show you guys here on the side what it kind of looks like inside of my actual auction, how I have it set up with the $1 listings, $2 listings, $3 listings, and they can actually scroll through those pictures. I have everything photographed and they can make requests. Let's go ahead and do the show. Hopefully I'd love to make like $200 tonight. If I could make anything over 200 tonight, I think I'd be really happy. Again, this is going on some of our last shows of this series. Show's all over, and this is what we sold. We have our 4 to 7 ounce books, our 12 to 15 ounce books, 1 to 2 pound books, 2 to 3 pound books, and then some specialty lots we did. And then these were the giveaways that we did. So we ended up doing a really good sales total. I'm very happy, a little bit more than I expected, of $341 in sales. Our projected is about to be $260. We'll see what happens when we get there, but we did about $1061 in shipping spend, which is for giveaways. We sold 105 items, which I did the math, and it ended up being about 156 individual items when you count all of the lots of things that sold as more than just one. Here's what we have left. Still a ton of stuff on the shelf, but it is just getting smaller and smaller every show. Really exciting. I'll slash these prices for our next show, really try to get all this stuff out and moved, but I'm really happy with that. Pretty exciting for, I think that was actually our 7th show when I looked back at the numbers. So we're moving stuff. We're doing well. $341 in sales. I will definitely take that. Hi guys, another Thursday, another show. I don't know where on earth I am in this video, but I can only imagine it's been a pretty long one so far, because I know that after this show, this Thursday show that I'm about to do, this is probably going to be the last Thursday show for a while until I figure out a better way that I want to potentially offload anything else onto Whatnot, because right now I'm at a position where if the stuff that I have available tonight doesn't really sell, it's probably not going to sell in the future. I have shown everything you're seeing on the back shelves here at least twice. So this will be the 3rd time people will be able to see everything. And so if it doesn't sell tonight, then it just may not be as desirable, or at least in this format. Maybe if I was doing bundling, it would be. We're going to be focusing on the stuff behind me as well as the mass markets. Let's go ahead and head on over there so I can just remind you what the mass markets are looking like. This is what was available for the mass markets. I have been slowly pulling from this wall to do giveaways in the show so that they still remain free / everything I'm selling. I'm not incurring really any other additional costs besides what it costs for me to buy the books, but we are going to be selling all of these tonight. So I'm actually going to go ahead and grab them, bring them into the other room, and I'm going to start sorting them by genre. If you can see, there is a pretty wide variety of genres in here for mass markets. So I'm going to go ahead and start dividing those up by genre and get them photographed and put into the auction. And then all of this stuff needs to be as well updated photographs and reorganized into a little bit better of a flow here. I know that we have had probably a lot of video clips before this one where it's very similar. I'm like setting up for a show, and then I do the show, and then I show you the results. I want to show you all tonight obviously the results of tonight's show, but I also want to go ahead and update the spreadsheet to as close as I can to current and just show you what our current number is right now. I don't know if I've shared that yet in the video. I've been just recording little bits and snippets of this video every week for the last probably 3 weeks to a month or so since the last time I did an update for you guys. So I know it's just a jumble of information, but it's all coming together. I want to update you guys with the spreadsheet and just show you what we're looking at. And I know we broke even. If I haven't said that already, we have broken even. So yeah, we'll share that in a little bit, but let's go ahead and focus on getting this last show set up for now. I went ahead and made an executive decision and eliminated the $2 category and put everything that was $2 and $1 together, as well as moved some of the $4 books down to $3 books, and so on and so forth. So this is going to be our $4 selection, our $3 selection, our children's book selection, which I kind of color coded. Sometimes if you color code your kids' books like this, they make it a little bit easier to actually see all of the titles instead of the brain trying to comprehend all of the different colors all jumbled up together. And then these are going to be all the $1 books as well as these. This is the stressful part, is just trying to figure out what I want to do for the rest of these kids' books. And I think the best way to do it is to just go ahead and take the time to try to take pictures of the books that I have available. This is how I decided to organize it. I have this stack, and this little stack here. These are going to be my little $1 books, as well as this little stack here likely. So little $1 stack. These are going to be $2 books. These are all Spanish books. I'm going to make a special listing just for Spanish. And then I just have like a couple books over here that I'm not willing to let go for more than $4. So I'm going to mark those at 4. And then I also have the leveled readers and cookbooks. But what I went ahead and did is this whole stack and this whole stack are going to be books I'm going to take off of the shelf. I'm not going to show them again. I'm not going to waste my time taking pictures of them. They're not really anything super duper special. And just quite frankly, they are just taking up space. And I'd rather consolidate down to what we have and really try to sell good quality stuff instead of trying to sell these really big, thick, heavy books for $1. I'm not going to liquidate these really large books for $1 because they are a pain in the butt to ship and they're going to cost me in my shipping supplies and my time, right? So we're offloading these. I'm going to go stick these in the back room. These are going to end up in our media sale that we'll be doing locally out front here of my office. I'll put these out. People can buy them locally if they want to take them off. Other than that, I'm going to go and get these pictured. Went ahead and pulled out the mass markets. And I think just to get them all out here, I filled up 5 or 6 times a banker box, just stacked them into the banker box and filled them up. So 5, 6 boxes, banker boxes of books, just mass markets. It's insane. It's a lot. It looks like a lot less than it really is. But yeah, now I'm going to go ahead and just organize these the best I can by like author/genre and get them on the shelf pictured. Okay, everything is officially set up. It probably looks very similar, but it is different. So we have our 4, 3, 2, and $1 books all separated. So we've got chapter and we've got the picture down here. I kind of already showed you guys that, right? And then these 4 shelves are the mass markets, which I feel like when it's on the shelf, you can see how much it is. Some of them are like double stacked back as well. So there's just a ton. I went ahead and divided them up between kind of like sci-fi, period piece, fantasy stuff, general fiction, thriller, romance, and then some authors I had multiples of, like Debbie McComber and Nora Roberts, things like that. That's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and do the show, and I'll check in with you guys when I'm done. All right, aftermath of this show, we have our auction books here. Obviously, a ton of mass markets there, and then some of the heavier books and also lighter books over here. So we ended up doing 44 of the mass markets, as well as some like all auctions in bundles as well. So probably closer to like 55 or so mass markets. There's also a couple over here, so 55-ish probably. But yeah, we did pretty good. We did $247 in sales, and it was 98 total items, I believe. And then this is what I'm left with. It is still a pretty good amount of books. So a good amount of these are actually just going to go into my store next door, into my actual auction shows that I do every week. I'm going to make a shelf for some mass markets and have those photographed. A lot of these like educational and kids picture books are definitely going to be able to be sold in my store. Now, as far as tracking that, I don't know if that's something I'm going to be able to do or really even care to do at this point. I think I might cut some of these as a loss, even though obviously I could still probably make I'd say $100 to $200-ish on most of this stuff still. So there is still money to be squeezed out. If I can find a way to track it, I will. But for the most part, we're just going to get this stuff over to the store. Let me just show you what it looks like back here. It's kind of crazy, but this again is still the eBay stuff, records, witchy books, all the stuff for the media sale. So all of this that you're seeing here, textbooks there, all of that, and all of this is just going to go into the media sale. All right. So that's kind of what's left. It's not a lot. We did a really good job getting through it, and I'm happy to at least be done with that last show. I definitely learned a lot through this process, and I can't wait to do a final update sharing with you all really my takeaways, what I would do differently, what I would do the same, what I learned, would I even really do this again, and just kind of giving you guys a breakdown on my overall like recap of this whole experience. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the spreadsheet now. So I'm going to go ahead and screen record with you guys here, my spreadsheet, talking you through it, breaking down the numbers of where we currently stand and maybe what my projected continued earnings are for the rest of this Gaylord haul. We'll kind of see, and then I'm going to pop back in and I will go over how I'm feeling, what I think, where I stand today currently after having about 2 months down of processing 6 Gaylords of books. All right, everyone, here is my bulk buy spreadsheet that I've been trying to use to keep track of everything. And I know you guys are probably looking right towards that total. So we'll go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room, and then I'll break down the spreadsheet for those of you all that care. So over here, where we currently stand as of today, which is, mind you, very late compared to these clips. It's actually Wednesday, July 2nd. So this is yesterday. If you're watching this video today, yeah, this was yesterday, Wednesday, July 2nd. This is where we currently stand. So with all of these numbers included, it brings us to a $2,701.58 total income, and then minus our cost of goods, which was $1640.89. That included the rental, the gas, all of the cost of goods to get these books to my location. Our total profit comes to $1,060.69. So not too shabby. My investment, like I said, was $1,600. So I have almost doubled my investment. Not really the number that I wanted it to be. And of course, I'm going to talk about this again a little bit more at the very end of this video after I show you the spreadsheet. But let's just go through this real quick because there's a couple things I want to point out. So first up, we ended up doing a total of 9 shows. The occult show isn't included in that because while I sold 27 items in the occult show, that show was not specifically for the Gaylord books. So that only had 27 items, which did garner some great sales, but technically we only did 9 specific shows to the Gaylords. We ended up selling a total of 1,055 items, individual items from the Gaylords, and our sales total was $26.35. After all of our fees and any other cost of goods, which as you can see on that very first show was about $2, everything else after that was $0. Our payout / profit from those shows was $1,920.48. Now, one of the things I did calculate in this spreadsheet was my time. This is just the time that I spent actually prepping for the show, doing the show, and packing for the show. So each show's time is listed here. You can see some took as low as 2 to 3 hours, whereas some were averaging more in the 4 to 6 hour range overall per show. And I did just under 40 total hours of work to actually prep, do, and package these shows, which is pretty solid over the course of 2 months to do 40 hours worth of work for this. Now, where the time isn't included is going to be in my YouTube time. So while I have my YouTube total over here, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, that time is not included in here. So my technical overall profit of this $1,060 doesn't include the hours I spent actually recording, editing, and publishing these YouTube videos. Before we get onto the YouTube, let's just talk about Second and Charles real quick. So I've only done 3 donations or buybacks for Second and Charles. I actually have 2 more full bags of books to take to them, and after the media sale I'll have more. So this spreadsheet is going to be a living document. We will check in again in a while. It'll probably be a few months until you see me again talking about this buyback because I need to process so much more stuff. Again, we'll talk about that in a minute. 3 buybacks for Second and Charles. This little profit column you see here is the profit I took from Second and Charles books that I purchased. So I took that $87.40 as store credit, bought items with it, and was able to sell them for this much money. So if you click here, you can see my little equation is brought up. I'm not calculating that $87 as part of my overall profit because technically I didn't profit $87. I earned $87 in store credit, and then I used it to buy items, and I gained $60.79 in sales from that $87. So, and if that math isn't mathing to you, that's a whole nother topic I can talk about with buyback, like on Second and Charles, but store credit, you're always going to get more than cash. So I technically would have gotten more with the $87 in store credit to get $60 in cash than I would have with what they would have offered me in cash, which probably would have only been $30 to $40. So that is the reason why that is there. And then the buybacks, I only did two buybacks for a total of $195, which was significantly lower than I expected my buybacks to be. I actually am pretty disappointed in that number. Definitely not what I wanted to see. All right, let's talk real quick about the YouTube, and then we'll jump into our final recap. So YouTube numbers, I made 4 total videos. I don't know why this one isn't a $sign, but I made 4 total videos. This is technically our 4th part of our bulk buy, but I have actually made 4 videos because I made like an intro video to me talking about bulk buying, which was only 8 minutes long, and it only garnered $9.46. So you can see not anything crazy, but I did want to include it. And then these are the other 3. So bringing us to $524 just from YouTube. So we're going to talk about this. I know there's a lot of you guys that are like, but I don't do YouTube. I couldn't calculate that. I know. We're going to talk about it. I have a lot to say about this. And then last but not least, our total acquisition time of like actually getting to the U-Haul, going and picking up the 6 Gaylords, driving back home, unloading everything, getting all the books out of the U-Haul and into my office, and then returning the U-Haul and all of the pallets and Gaylords back to the place that we purchased them from was 22 hours. Just acquisition time, just to get the books, get them to the location, and be done with that process. And like I said, it was $1,600. So let's go ahead and switch back to outro, Amanda, and we're going to recap and kind of summarize this bulk buy here. Alrighty, let's go ahead and do our recap and chat. So, oh boy, I have so many thoughts. I obviously bought these books 2 months ago. It's been a little over 2 months since we purchased this whole entire bulk buy purchase. And when I am sitting here today, 2 months out after it's all been said and done, and I'm looking at these hard numbers, and I know roughly how much more books I have left over there and the potential profit that I still have to add to this, but I'm looking at where I am now, I would not do this again. That is actually my overarching feel on the topic, is I actually probably wouldn't do this buy again. There's a few factors that would allow me to be able to do it again if I were able to set those up. I'm probably not going to get into that right now. It's things kind of like, obviously now having the knowledge of how I would do it and what I would do, it would take a lot less time at the end of it. Not doing it in the summertime. I would be doing this only in a very early spring or fall where the weather is very mild and I'm not, dealing with extreme heat. Things like buying more so that my overall cost is actually less, things like that, right? So there are some variables I would take into account to do it again. I'm not saying I would never do this again. I wouldn't do it how I did it again. With that said, I want to talk real quick. I want to jump into the first thing that's just really important for me to focus on, which is the concept of being a YouTube reseller. I know there are a lot of you all that probably have opinions on this, and it is a very controversial topic in the reselling space that a lot of resellers are accused of being, YouTuber resellers. They're not real resellers is what a lot of people like to say. And in a lot of ways, there are YouTubers who are way more YouTube content creators than they are resellers. Do they resell? Yes. But is the majority of their income and time spent on content creation? 100%. And that is okay. I don't think anyone should be told they're not a real reseller because they primarily make their income and money off of content creation. But with that said, you take out the $524 I made on YouTube revenue being monetized and documenting this journey. And mind you, think about that, the time I spent to document all of this. I mean, it was not easy for me to be, you could probably take 10 hours off of my total time from acquisition and my total time of the prep show and packing of me just filming. 5 to 10 hours easily. It would have gone so much faster if I didn't have to sit there and think about what I was doing, right? $524 in YouTube profit minus the total profit with the cost of goods included, which was $1,060. You're only left with another $500 in total profit. So if you're not a content creator, you're not a YouTuber, you don't feel like documenting this process, and this is something that you want to do, you obviously can't include that type of number into your number. So when you look at it, $500 for $1,600 investment and all that time, no, it is not worth it. Absolutely not. Now, Let's move on to the next topic. I still have a lot of stuff left back there. So when the end of the summer comes, like way end of the summer, we're talking like late September, October. I know for you guys that's fall, but for me, weather-wise, that's the end of the summer. It is still very hot here in August and September and even into October. So I will be doing that media sale outside in October-ish, probably. I'll find a cool weekend that it's not going to be raining. It'll probably be a 1-day, very large sale all day long. I'll be posted up and I will try to move as much of the stuff as I can with fair pricing so people are encouraged to buy. I'm going to try to set it up really nicely and put a lot of effort and time into it. And that'll be an entire day that I will dedicate towards really trying to squeeze out the last bit from this haul. Now, how much am I going to make? I have no idea. We'll have to all wait and find out in the future. That's something I can't possibly guesstimate. If I could hope, I would say another $200. That would be really nice. $100 to $200. I'd be really happy with that with a day's worth of work. That would be great, but we don't know. Secondarily, I've got eBay stuff still. So this is obviously something you don't see in the spreadsheet at all. There's no mention of eBay because I have still yet to do anything that I think would go on eBay. I don't even remember what's in those banker boxes. I have no idea. But I know that there's some decent things in there. There was some stuff that really caught my eye, and from just my general reselling information and knowledge and knowledge of how eBay works and types of things that are desirable, they were things I deemed, let's put this to the side and check on it. I'm hoping there's another couple $100 worth of eBay stuff. I won't know. We'll all know in the future though. What's another thing? Oh, the vinyls and the DVDs. Those are going to go out to the media sale. I'm not doing a vinyl show. I'm not doing a DVD show. I'm not wasting my time with that. That is outside of my niche and need to do. That is great additional stuff to draw a variety of people in to a media sale. If I can get anywhere of just at or around the $500 mark for the stuff that I have left over, I will be really happy. Again, I do still have 2 bags to donate to Second and Charles. Yeah. So I'm going to do my best to finish completely liquidating this. I don't think that bulk buying is something that necessarily is just like a 1 week and done type of thing when you're doing it in this format. Now, obviously, I'm not an Amazon seller. I'm not a lot of other things that people might be doing when they're bulk buying pallets of books. This is the way I'm doing it, and I'm just sharing my journey. It's not perfect. It's definitely flawed. There's a lot of things I would do differently, but this is where we're at, and this is what we're doing. This is the decisions that were made. I want to talk briefly about the $1 starts again. Just want to reiterate how unhappy I am with those. I definitely don't recommend doing the $1 starts in the future. It's just really not great for what I was doing. It was a waste of my time. It was overall big cut into my profit. Oh, that's something else I want to say. I wanted to talk about this because I completely forgot to mention it. Keep in mind, the way that I sell on Whatnot is bundling, which means I sell books by showing them one at a time and taking requests. And as long as there's only one person that's interested in the book, I'll just put it to the side into a pile for them, as opposed to running individual auctions. So not only does it save me the 30-cent transaction on every single book I sell, but I can sell a stack of books at one price, which is just so much more efficient and better for the buyer, that they tend to buy more that way. Whereas if you have to sit around and bid on every single auction, it can get annoying. A lot of banks flag Whatnot when they have a consecutive sales. So there are people who really don't do auctions on Whatnot because their bank gets like flagged, and then their card will get locked and their account gets locked and they have to call, and it's a whole thing because their bank just acknowledges it as like fraud, like it's too many purchases back to back. So that's a problem for people. So with that said, if I was doing this show the way I normally run my shows, like instead of doing it separate, right, and doing like all auctions and the whole way I did it, if instead I was like, I'm going to do my normal show, it's going to be bundles, we're going to have adult, kids, it's going to be a whole blend, and I did it in bundles, I think I pretty firmly believe that I would have made more money overall had I done it the way that I think is probably a little bit better. If you've never seen this video, if I can remember, I'll link it up here, but it is a video about, I think it's titled like, You're Doing It Wrong, Why You Should Bundle on Whatnot or something like that. So I'll put it up here, but it's a video about bundling and like why bundling is more important, like more effective, I think. Let's see, what else do I have to talk about regarding this? I don't know. Let me know what I'm missing in the comments below. If there's anything I glazed over or didn't address and I just forgot, please ask me below. I'm an open book. I'm very transparent. If you haven't noticed in the way that I do my videos, I am like super honest with you guys. I have no reason to like sugarcoat stuff. I definitely feel as though being a content creator in this space allowed me to take on a risk that many people may not have the luxury of having, because I earned an extra $500 and will continue to earn over time a little bit more money on those videos. Probably not a lot, maybe, you know, another $20 to $50 in the course of my next couple of years or life of a, you know, YouTuber, who knows. But $500 just from content creation is a big chunk of change. And so, you know, that luxury of saying I can take on this risk because I'm going to make a video about it, and while I'll make money as a reseller on it, I'm also going to make money as a content creator on this. And so if you see some of your favorite YouTubers or bigger YouTubers who are doing sometimes maybe extravagant buyouts or big, catchy, flashy type of things in their videos, and you're wondering, how are they really going to make money on that, and how are they doing that? There is just a level to it that is about AdSense revenue and being able to monetize it on their socials. So just keep that in mind. All right. I don't know what else to talk about. I feel like I might be missing something, but I think that's pretty much it. So I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. Part 4, second to last probably part of this series. So I think we're gonna have one more video. It won't be until probably the end of the year. You can probably look for it in, again, like maybe late October to November. I'm not going to post another video until I at least do the media sale, get everything that I want to sell to Second and Charles or any other outlets I think I can sell them to, and basically final liquidate everything in that store that was at one point a book from this Gaylord haul, with the exception of eBay, and get it out of my office. And then I would like to, at that point, have also gone through at least the eBay stuff. Even if I haven't listed everything, I want to have footage of me saying, these were the valuable books. This is my estimated, what I think I'm going to get from them, or these are some sales I've had. I'd like to list some stuff, whatever it might be, but I want to at least have gone through it. So we won't see each other again for this series again until closer to the end of the year. So look forward to that. And I will find a way to notate it. So if you do follow my videos and you just want to see part 4, again, you can just check back around that time, but I will try to put in the thumbnail or something like final recap or something to kind of get you to click on my videos if you don't watch my videos weekly, but you've just been following the bulk buy purchase. If you do watch my videos weekly, thank you so much. I post a video every Thursday around noon Eastern time, and I talk about my adventures in reselling, what not selling, educational and informational type stuff, tips and tricks, and just general relatable like reseller content. So if you like that kind of stuff and you like this video, definitely make sure you are subscribed to the channel and click that bell notification so you get notified every time I publish a video. And if you liked this one, please hit that thumbs up button. It always greatly helps the algorithm. Leave a comment below if you haven't already. Let me know what you think, what your takeaways are. Would you do this? Was the profit worth it? Go ahead and bash me in the comments. I can take it. I have thick skin. I know where I made my mistakes, and I know what I would and wouldn't do differently next time. And that sometimes is invaluable, just taking away that knowledge and that experience so that the next time this type of opportunity presents itself, I'm a lot more prepared to meet it. So, all right, guys, I will catch you all next week. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week until then. Bye.